I was 15, living in a quiet suburban street in Ohio. My parents weren't strict, and most nights I'd hang out with friends or just walk to my buddy's house a couple blocks away. One night I was walking home from my friend Jess's house, and I noticed a figure standing near the edge of a neighbor's yard. At first I thought it was someone waiting for a ride, but the way he didn't move just stood there staring gave me goosebumps. I quickened my pace. The street was empty, but I could hear faint footsteps behind me. I didn't dare turn fully around, just a glance over my shoulder. Nothing. I reached my front porch, fumbling for the key like my hands were covered in ice. The next morning, my neighbor mentioned seeing a man crouched by the hedges, like he was watching someone. I never. Story 2, Storm Knock. I lived in a small coastal town in Maine. It was a stormy October night, rain hammering the roof. I was upstairs in my room reading when I heard a massive knock on my bedroom window. My heart jumped. There's no way anyone could be outside in that downpour. I cracked the window trying to see through the rain. A man was there, drenched, shouting for help. My instinct screamed, "Don't open it," but my mind argued maybe he was really hurt. I ran downstairs, voice trembling, to tell my dad. He went to the door, then stopped abruptly, whispering, "Wait." Peeking through the blinds, he saw the man holding something long and shiny, crouched low, staring up at the house. My dad grabbed the phone and called the cops while I stayed glued to the wall, frozen. The guy disappeared before help arrived, but that night, my dreams were filled with pounding rain and heavy footsteps. Story 3, The Basement Toy. When I was 14, I babysat a 6-year-old named Liam. His parents warned me that he often spoke to an imaginary friend, Agnes. I laughed it off. Kids do that, right? Mid-afternoon, Liam was playing on the living room floor. I heard a toy crank on by itself. "Agnes," he said calmly, pointing at the toy. I froze, goosebumps crawling up my arms. Later, while washing my hands in the bathroom, I heard a door creak open. Liam wasn't there. I peeked into the hall, and Liam was sitting on his bed in the corner, staring at me. "Agnes did it," he whispered. I left early that day, and when they asked me to babysit again a few weeks later, I declined. The unease lingered. Small things would rattle me for months. Story 4, The Woods at Dusk. My grandpa lived on a farm in Pennsylvania. He had a small Boston Terrier named Max. One evening, he was walking Max along the usual dirt path near the woods. Max barked at someone passing in a hooded jacket. Grandpa waved, but the figure kept walking, then kept watching. A few minutes later, the man appeared behind a tree, shadows stretching across the path. Grandpa felt the hairs on his neck rise. He pulled Max closer, walking faster. Suddenly, a glove-covered hand clamped over his mouth. Max bit and barked, allowing Grandpa to pull out his pepper spray. He sprayed repeatedly, ran home, heart pounding. He never told the cops. He didn't want to be interrogated, but for years, every time he walked that path, he carried pepper spray. He sprayed repeatedly, ran home, heart pounding. He never told the cops. He didn't want to be interrogated, but for years, every time he walked that path, he carried pepper spray, hands trembling, always glancing behind him. Story 5, Abandoned House. I grew up in Los Angeles. My best friend and I were 12 when we decided to check out a long-abandoned house. We saw a head in the window. At first we thought Halloween decoration, but closer inspection revealed it was eerily lifelike. A sticky dark liquid pooled beneath it. We scrambled outside, bikes clattering on the driveway. Our adrenaline made us speak too fast, laugh nervously, our hands ache. Neighbors later said someone had been squatting inside, but the full story was never known. The house was boarded up, but I still avoid that street when passing. Story 6, Van Visitors. In rural Missouri, a man knocked on my mom's door at 9 p.m. offering samples for a new business. Something felt off. There were 5 other men in the van. I grabbed my phone, ready to dial, knife in hand, palms sweaty. My mom tossed the container and told them to leave. They peeled out, tires squealing. Weeks later, I realized how lucky we were. My heartbeat still races when unfamiliar vehicles stop by unannounced, even during the day. Story 7, Backcountry Skiing. I went backcountry skiing upstate New York with a friend. While scouting hills, I met a masked skier asking for directions. Something felt off. His gear looked familiar, like my friend S. Suddenly he lunged. My flare gun jammed, adrenaline spiking. I shot it anyway. He backed off, muttering about my friend. My friend was found later, unconscious after a fall. The snow and cold made everything blur. My teeth chattered, legs numb, hands shaking uncontrollably. Weeks later, I avoided the backcountry entirely.